Good morning. I'm Hank Stoddard, live at Red Carpet Regency Lanes. We're going to be live. Actually, this time we're not. We're going to be live for our championship finals, but today we're in the men's semifinal, and we'll know one of the championship finalists after today's match. It'll either be Jeff Richgels of Madison or Ben Hoefs of Brookfield as they meet here in our 30th consecutive year of Bowling with the Champs. The winner of today's match goes on to meet for the title for our 1984-85 season. Jeff Henry, who has already advanced to the finals. Winner, of course, is determined, as you're undoubtedly aware, on the basis of the three-game series. The one rolling the highest three-game pin count will go on to the championship. And, of course, a shot at $5,000. But in addition to that money, Red Carpet Lanes each week pays additional money, and today they'll do that again. $50 to the bowler each time he wins the game, $50 to the one that wins the three-game series, a $25 consolation prize if one of the bowlers should fail to win any of the three games. There's also an additional $100 from Red Carpet for a 700 series. Jeff Henry just missed it by 3 pins in the other semifinal. There's $200 for an 800 series, and of course for a perfect 300 game. Running out of chances this year for bowlers to win this 1985 Pontiac Fiaro. That's from Foster Pontiac. John and Betty'd love to give it away. You have to roll a 300 game. It's revolutionary in styling, performance, and handling. A mid-engine sports treat, delivering sports car thrills and high mileage as well. Other prizes are also awarded. High three-game series, high single game, longest string of strikes in one game. I'll let you in on those prizes later on this morning. But now it's time to bring in Dennis. Dennis Wright, of course, I'm referring to, who analyzes what's going on out there, and you don't have to be a genius to analyze the fact that these two guys have been pretty hot in this show this year.
Well, when you look at their averages for the first 3 appearances, what do we say, 225, I believe, for Ben and 228 for Jeff. Definitely they've been the 2 best bowlers so far this year.
The other semifinal, you said we had a contrast in styles or in approach where one held the ball low, one held it high. A little bit of that this morning.
Oh, really? Jeff carries it very low and covers more boards. He goes in and out on the lanes. Sometimes a tendency to make a mistake. Ben has just lived in the pocket. Jeff, such a capable strike ball that he can string them at any time. He's never out of a match, but he has to stay away from the big mistake.
I think you're saying we have the potential for some really good scores here today.
Oh, definitely, Hank.
All right, we'll find out in game number 1 right after this. The Lanes, because he had the higher score in the 3rd round. Do you think the Lanes favor either one here this morning?
Well, they've favored Ben all year, it seems. He's had 1 open in 9 frames, and I'd say out of the 9 games I meant to say, he hasn't missed a pocket 10 times. So if they favored anybody, it might be Jeff Henry and Benny Hoefs, but Jeff Richgels will find a way to hit that pocket.
I believe you. We're going to show you a couple of people and get underway with game number 1. At our foul line today is Lauren Rux, who is an X-ray technician at West Dallas Hospital. And there's a fella who is our official scorekeeper, George Vales. You got anything good to say about George this morning? Well, Jeff Richgels just took care of George. He stood in front of him.
It's been a bad year for George.
Really?
This champ show is the semifinals from 1984-85. Expected this to be a really, really tough match. Benny Hoefs is one of Wisconsin's all-time greats. Was really a tough head-to-head bowler. Boy, I went toe-to-toe with him on more than one occasion in more than one tournament over the years. And he won more than his share over the years. But I think on this day, he had a bad day, obviously, you'll see that. But I think on this day, I'm not sure if they mention it in here, but I think Benny was having a little back trouble. He was not in the best of shape, if I recall, from this day. He was hurting a little bit, and it kind of shows wasn't his usual great shot making. But this show got me into the title match, and certainly was a lot of fun to bowl here. I recovered from another one of those horrible pocket 710s that I found so many times on 27 and 28 at the Red Carpet Regency. But enjoy, and the title match will be up next.
Well, obviously, to get that high, and he only took 5, and it cost him $100. We'll watch Jeff Richgels in replay and his low holding approach.
Really, and rather quick to the foul line, not a straight line. Carries the ball, a lot of lift, a lot of turn, and you see the leverage coming all the way up off of that left foot. And that's where the power comes from. Brings it down from a low position. A lot of lift. And
John
corner
Witkowski
man.
in
Yeah,
his corner.
that's Steve, I think.
Pardon?
Steve Witkowski.
Oh,
And brother John, they look so much
Really?
alike.
Yeah.
I got called on it about a month ago, and they look very much alike. They say they're not twins, but
are
couldn't prove
brothers.
it by me. They are brothers, both good bowlers.
and John's the one that's been on our show.
Yes,
Well, 2 pins on the left side for Benny Hoefs.
and a little trouble on the left lane for Jeff. 4 of them up.
Not now.
So he's converted a couple nice spares, and Ben, as we thought, 1-3 pocket both times. Even though he's left the 4-7, he was in the 1-3.
And the spare. Yeah, we'll watch Ben and replay his approach.
Well, he uses all of the approach also with a 5-step delivery. See how low the ball goes? And again, up on that left pivot foot for leverage, power, a little deeper angle. Worked.
Speaking of power, a strike for Jeff Richgels. His first of game number 1 comes in the 3rd frame, gives him 36 through 2 frames. Strike up in the 3rd. So Ben with a tenuous, slight early lead, assuming he brings in more than 6 pins here.
Oh, he's stuck, but it's going to work. Well, I thought it was going to work.
Well, you know, he was looking at that approach earlier and said he thought a little humidity in the building today.
Possible.
And he had a little problem sticking on that lane. And he even got the lane man to do a little buffing out there, but may still be a little humidity there.
And sometimes you get a little humidity into that sliding shoe. Tough to get out. You
tell
hate
you-
to have to think about that also.
I know in my case, excuse me, I know in my case, I never think about sticking or worrying about the foul line until you stick once, and then sometimes
That's right.
you start thinking about it.
And checking over that sliding shoe. Jeff could take the lead here. Strike working, could go to a double.
Is that Ed Klein in the corner?
Yes, Ed Klein.
How
he's
about I
been
check
here.
after I blew the first name on the other one?
Well, a
That's
double and
nice
the
for
lead.
Jeff.
Steve Witkowski. And Jeff started out a little tentatively, made 2 pretty tough spares. Now back with a double and the lead.
Wait a second, I've been vindicated. It is John in the corner.
I'll be darned.
John Witkowski.
Twice I did it. I quit.
Well, I said hello, John, before we started the show, and he said hi, Hank.
Oh,
And we
okay.
talked briefly, and I thought, wow, did I call him by wrong? That's John. Okay, we got it straight.
And another pocket hit and a 10-pin for Ben. Not quite as perfect as Lane or the 3rd frame.
Well, we're really down to the nitty-gritty as far as our show is concerned. Our 30th consecutive year of bowling with the champs. We have just this match and then the 2 championship
When he
finals.
stuck again, and it
threw
cost him
away.
this time.
Well, there is definitely a problem with Ben Hoefs. And I have to think maybe the problem's with Ben because you don't see Jeff having the problem. And you would think, wouldn't you, that unless he's in a different
Well,
area.
he's in a different area, and that can happen because Jeff's approach much different. Let's see if we can.
Yeah, he's way
to the
inside,
left.
yeah, in the
he
left.
likes it.
Oh, but he couldn't get that little
Oh, he
cat's
almost
paw,
had
as
it.
you call it, the 6 coming down and touching
That's
the top
right.
of the 10. Didn't happen. Well, that's a costly, I don't know whether you call it a mistake. When you miss an open pin, it's a mistake. But what caused it, apparently, was sticking, his foot sticking.
And we'll see where he ends up on the approach. And it's a little bit closer to center.
Gets good mix on that ball, and he has a strike, so he bounces back in the open. But there's 11 pins that miss caused him.
And he seemed to have no trouble that time. He had a little bit of slide on the end of his approach.
We'll watch and see in replay what happened to him there as he came up for that spare.
But now, of course, he's in the same area where Jeff is
Yeah.
on his strike ball.
Yeah, so
It probably is on his shoe, on the equipment. That low carry for Jeff Richgels.
Coming in. Here it comes. And there they all go except two. And that's, with my opinion, probably the toughest break in bowling.
No doubt about it. That and the 4-9. This one more so, because the 4-9 you have
got
a
a
shot
shot,
at making.
yeah.
This one, that's an awful penalty.
And we'll watch it again. I mean, it's different. You hit it on the head pin, the nose, and you leave that. That's not a bad break. That is.
That's a bad break. You throw the ball just about where you want it, and you pay a full penalty. Not fair. But it's there, and it's part of the game. And this one's not going to get, well, almost got back at that.
Sometimes life isn't fair. That's what George told me.
That's right. Oh.
Anger.
And, well.
If he loses by one.
That's right.
He's got 111 in the sixth, Jeff Richgels. Ben Hoefs.
And he's leading. You know, you normally shouldn't do that. If you're out of it, you might feel a little bit upset, and you should be upset, but you can't let it get to your game. So a pretty close game, about 4 pins.
Yeah. That opened for Jeff. Put Ben back into contention to win this game. Still lots of time to go in game number 1, 4 frames. Early reminder that the Women's Championship Final coming up on June 7th, Saturday night, here at Red Carpet, Regency Lane, 7 o'clock. We'd be delighted to have you come on down, be a part of our audience. We've changed the seating around a little bit here, and we have room for more people. So
June 8th, I believe.
June 8th, wait a second. Yeah, June 8th, and the 15th for the men's. Right. I'm sorry, that was a day early. June 8th, Saturday. Strike for Ben Hoefs. So come on down and see us with the Women's Championship Final June 8th at 7 o'clock and the Men's Championship Final June 15th at 7 o'clock. And one of these bowlers, either Jeff Richgels, who just struck right there, or Ben Hoefs, will be taking on the other finalist who advanced last week on our show, Jeff Henry.
And a good sign. Jeff Richgels bounced back from a little bit of adversity. 1-3 pocket, and fortunately carried. You'd hate to see a good tap right there. That could get to you. So he's got to be feeling better. Look for a double here.
Well, like any other sport, bowling can be affected by mental attitude.
And look for it. He's got it. He adds to his lead.
It's a
Ben
double.
Could stay with him.
That's his second double of the match for Jeff Richgels. Ben has not had a double as yet, although he has had 3 strikes. If he gets one here, it would give him, as Dennis said, his first double.
Better ball. Yes, sir.
Pushed out that 10. That's his first double for Benny Hoefs. And Ben, in his previous matches, advanced 651 to 634 over Tim Alfredson in the first round. There's the approach, and that low carry by Jeff Richgels. No, sir.
Well, a chance for Ben to take the lead first time. Well, no, he had a short lead in the second frame.
Ben Hoefs in his second round, 682 over Darrell Meisel, knocking off a heavyweight there, 682 to 636. And in the third round, it was no contest as Ben Hoefs eliminated Bob Syatt. There goes
he
the
had
7.
him piling up at the 7 and the lead.
Ben shot 697 in the third round to 537 for Bob Syatt. So Jeff Richgels behooves him to make this pair.
And he did. He's had 3 good spare conversions, but trails by about 9 pins right now. Ben working on 3 going into the 10th frame. And a pattern for Ben Hoefs, 650, 680, 690. He's on the way up.
Let's go. Well, Jeff Richgels hasn't been too bad. First round, 721, then 675, then 658, but that would indicate a downturn.
He's on the way down. And a little bit high there, Henry.
I'll take a downturn if I shoot 658.
Yeah, he had a long ways to go to get in a tough position, but 196 would be Jeff's best, and Ben could run it out to 220.
Well, I'll tell you, give Ben credit, because twice he stuck. 1 frame cost him a spare by sticking, and he's just shook that off and come right back, got his concentration together, and now has a 4-bagger.
And the reason, 1 ball out of the 1-3 pocket, and that was just a smidgen in the 6th frame where he left a 2-5.
Jeff with the spare in the 10th, so a strike, as Dennis said, would give him 196. Ben Hoefs.
210 right now, Hank, going for 220 if he goes again.
We'll see what kind of, how these two respond to pressure if they're close in the third game, because none of them have really, neither one has really had a really close match.
Yeah, oh yeah. Jeff Richgels had a double in the 10th to win his last match.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, against Kurt Preston. How could I forget that? 658
right.
to 653. Wow, yeah, you can't get any more pressure. Absolutely, I forgot that.
But Ben, as you say, has not been challenged much, and so far he's going to maintain that position with about a 30-pin lead.
194 for
in game
Jeff.
1. But Jeff, we know he can string them. You know, if you've been following us this our 30th season.
Well, Benny has a 5-bagger, could carry 6 over into the next game, but we've given away that 11 in a row prize to Darryl Meisel. I wonder if he and his bride have taken that cruise yet. Probably not. Oh, there it goes. Striking out from the 7th frame on is Ben Hoefs for a 227 game and a 33-pin lead after game number 1 over Jeff Richgels. And you consider that he was trailing by 18 in the 4th frame. We'll be back with game number 2 after some messages. To 194 over Jeff Richgels, so the Brookfield bowler with an advantage over the Madison bowler, who's going to try to start whittling into that deficit right here. And that's the way to do it if you can get the 7-pin to not just wiggle but fall over.
Good ball. Might have had it. Both of them had a little bit of trouble with the approach during the break, Hank. Now let's see if it's going to have a bearing on this or not.
Well, we had the lane man out there working on it, I know, and
looked all right there.
Oop, well,
that didn't look too good.
Up high, Benny'd been living in that pocket, got up on the nose and paid the price. Ed Klein grimacing, if that's the correct word. Jeff with the spare.
Makeable.
Jeff still throws that hook sometimes at those spares, and you have to watch those ones. Hard to judge how much. Did he put that much turn on it? Is it going to come? Yeah, makeable if he's. Oh, not quite. Open frame in frame number 1. And there in the back row, hoisting a beer as well he might in celebration of his year in bowling, Jeff Henry, the man who will meet one of these two bowlers in our championship final. Jeff Richgels coming in.
Oh, that came a long ways. A lot of pin action. Head pin did a lot of work. And we say the light hit should be the winner for Jeff Richgels. 11-pin advantage this game, so as Hank said, he's whittled in a little bit.
Benny Hoefs on the left lane trying to bounce back from an open. 5 and the 7 up there, and the 7 went down, but the 5 stayed.
Did not have the finish on that ball. The ball did not get to the 5-pin. Normally on that type of hit, it would just hit it.
Benny, part of one of several bowling brother combinations have been our show over the years. His brother Bob's been on before. Benny's been on more often than Bob, and in recent years, darn near every year for Ben Hoefs. Before the match, we asked the two bowlers what they felt their chances were after going through 3 rounds now that they're in the 4th round, and here's what Jeff said.
I would have to say my chances are all right of winning here. Actually, I'm pretty surprised even to be in the top 4. I think if you watch the last match I was in, Kurt Preston should probably be here. I think he outbowled me. But seriously, I think it's 1 and 2 for me to win today, 1 and 2 for me to win in the championship match. I have the greatest respect in the world for Benny, and I have a teammate already in the championship match, so just have to bowl my best and see what happens.
Well, that was Jeff's response, and there's Ben leaving the 4 and the 7.
And he lost another 10 by virtue of Jeff Richgels' double, so we're down to about a single mark, a little bit over 10 pins. And Jeff still working with strikes going.
Ben looking for the spare.
The winner either $5,000 or $2,500. The loser $1,700.
Benny Hoefs asked what his chances were. Did he feel? Said this.
In answer to the question, what my chances might be to make the Final Four, I think it's 50-50 when you get to the point where you're at the Final Four. Anything can happen in 3 games. We've got 4 excellent bowlers, and just take your best chances is all you can do.
Well, his opponent is trying to nullify his chances. He has a 3-bagger now, Jeff Richgels. And Benny hasn't had a strike yet in this game. He finished the last game with 6 of them and 8 total. So he's in the 4th frame here looking for number 1 of game 2.
And Jeff has evened up the match, working on a 210 versus 180. And again,
Coming over, here comes a pin. Nope, it nudged it, but not enough to knock it over.
a little bit on the light side. He's had a 5-pin and a 10-pin on light pocket hits on the left lane. And he's been a little bit heavy in the pocket. In fact, he was on the nose in frame 1 on the right lane. So kind of slipped away from that 1-3 pocket, which is uncharacteristic of the year he's had on this show.
Way down, there's some of the crowd here today, and way down at the far end of the house here, some lanes in action for people trying to qualify for next year's Bowling with the Champs, our 31st consecutive year. I was talking to Gloria Bear. Wow, Jeff.
We said he can string them, Hank.
Yeah. Talking to Gloria Bear recently, and she told me she felt the final total for entries for next year would exceed, or at least be equal to, and probably succeed this year's total. So that means well over 3,000 men trying to become one of the 32 that make the show, and hoping to be in the position that these 2 bowlers are this morning, needing a victory to enter the championship final. $5,000 to the winner.
Better angle. Diane got it.
$6,000 next year to the winner.
And Ben moved maybe a board to the right. He got a little bit better finish on the ball, had more speed and a strike. The most important thing, but he trails in the match.
I wonder if, did you notice the ball that Jeff used in game 1? Did he make a ball changed? I thought so.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Oh, and he got that 4 from behind. That's 5 in a row.
5 in a row for Jeff Richgels, on a roll here.
20 pins ahead in the match. 4 frames ago, and he trailed by 33, so it moves.
We say it can change quickly, and we're proving it.
Oh, right behind. Give it a good nudge. Would behoove Ben to pop one in here.
Get a double that way.
Been a little bit light on this lane twice in a row. Let's see if he moves just a little bit to the right. Looks like it's all right.
4-pin.
He couldn't get the kick.
Now, would you say Jeff kicked that 4-pin from behind? His angle better for carrying out the 4-pin maybe than Ben's, or not much?
I would say it's a push with these 2 bowlers, because Ben gets into that pocket very smoothly. Normally gets that 4-pin kick.
Well, Benny with the spare here, and that gives him 86 in the 5th, but that is an uncustomarily low halfway through a game total for Ben Hoefs.
And Jeff working on a string, and he's had a number of them.
Wish he'd got, not that I'm cheering for Richgels, but I wish he'd got that one in the 1st frame now, because we'd be getting excited, and then we'd be disappointed then anywhere.
That was a good hit.
Yeah, left that 10-pin. So his string ends at 5, but that run of 5 propelled him from 33 pins down to about 20 up, something like that.
Yes. Leading this game by 53 pins, so just exactly 20. Just depending on Ben's count here with a spare working. He's at a 10-pin, a strike, and a 4-pin, so seems to be back in the 1-3 pocket. Back in the 1-3, and again that half hit.
I got a great weekend planned for your. He totally lost his balance, fell right down, went over the foul line. It's obviously a foul, and the ball came out of the channel and knocked down the pin, so that does not count as a spare conversion. And we went from somebody sticking to, that didn't look like a stick, looked more like a slip.
I didn't even watch him. I was marking score, and
well, maybe we got it on replay. We can, if we can try to find out just what caused that. He just lost his balance and ended up in the channel. right side.
So each of our bowlers have missed a 10-pin, and not really their own fault. Although I don't know what happened with Jeff.
Okay, we can't find that one on replay, so we'll just have to ask him later.
Let's see if he bounces back here. Couple tough breaks for Jeff Richgels, 7-10 in the pocket, and did not have the finish that we normally see on his bowling ball.
And now he's discouraged, and you have to wonder about his temperament, because
he goes up and down.
Game 1 there, he left a 7-10 and just threw it wildly and never got either one of them, which only cost him a pin.
Ben stays calm, but Jeff with the lead, and Ben not bowling near as well as we've seen him.
Boy, no, you watch the end of that first game, finish with 6 in a row, you think, well, this guy's got him down now. And Jeff was somewhat tentative in game 1, and he came through that 5-bagger where he looked like he was wired. And now, and now I was just going to say, and now here's an open, but he did manage to convert it.
That should make him feel good, because it wasn't a real good conversion. Although I guess anytime you get him down is a good conversion.
A few years of wisdom in that shot we had of those two gentlemen.
You were saying something, what to do at your Sunday?
Oh, we'll watch Jeff's spare again and see what happened when it looked like he had chopped there.
Well, the 2-pin just got a piece of the 4.
No. I think the other one came out of the channel.
Really?
From the back. Glenn,
I don't
you
think
still
so.
got that one? Glenn, we want one more look at that. Let's see what did happen. I think the 2-pin missed it from behind.
I don't think so.
All right. Here we go again. All right. Now, I'm going to watch...
The 5-pin?
Yeah, the 5-pin. Here we go. 5-pin goes straight. There goes the 2-pin. It's gone by it, Dennis.
The 5-pin never got out of there.
Here it comes.
See, but it's falling backwards. It just was
It
grazed
just ticked
by
it?
the
Okay. All right, you win.
And the 2-5 here for Ben, so all of a sudden a slowdown in strike production.
By both of them.
Yes.
I think some concern maybe with their approach might have something to do with it.
Maybe a little bit cautious going to the foul line. That's true.
I will come up with that plan for the weekend.
Okay.
Remind me in game number 3 here. We're nearing the end of game number 2.
At any rate, a 43-pin advantage. Jeff Richgels. This game trailed by 33, so about a 10-pin difference in the match. A game and a frame to go.
Well, scores down in game 2, surprisingly. But it will probably ensure an exciting game 3. There's Jeff back in there. Boy, he gets the mix, doesn't he?
He really does, and he can go to 235.
Which isn't too bad. I said scores down, but 235 would be higher than anything in game 1.
He had 3 frames in a row there where it was a little bit shaky. 2 of them after he either slipped, fell, or whatever, lost his balance in the 7th frame, missed a 10-pin. And Ben 4 frames in a row without a strike. And that's not a good ball.
Now he's got the baby split over there. The 3-10. I was reading the ABC Masters. Steve Wunderlich had won the ABC Masters. One of the matches, one of the bowlers, I think it was in the semifinals, needed to make the 3-10 to advance to the finals and couldn't do it in the 10th frame. Opened instead. So it's a relatively easy spare, but you got to make the shot.
Really, and a turnaround frame here, Hank. Jeff with a double, Ben a possible open. We'll see how he handles it. Nope.
He opened, came up high on the 3-pin, pulled it just a little bit, and it's a 169 game. By far the lowest game of the year on this show for Ben Hoefs.
Going to have a 60-pin turnaround.
Whoa, and he left the 10er pin. Well, it's a 234 game for Jeff Richgels. And he has come back now for a 427 2-game total to 396. So from 33 down
to 33 up.
Game number 3. What a sport this is. Game number 3 will determine our winner and our championship finalist. And we'll have it for you after this. As Ben Hoefs starts off on lane 27. Ben's got to regroup here because in that second game he had only 1 strike, and that is highly uncharacteristic. More speed. Up high
and
anyway.
A different bowling ball, it looks like. He went to there's Ben's wife, Jan newly
Looking a
wedded.
little concerned.
I think so, and rightfully so.
Maybe more concerned. Jeff Richgels.
Yeah, Jeff changed bowling balls in game 2. Worked out very well with 234 after 194.
Well, I think we talked with Jeff before on the show. You're fairly familiar with him, I'm sure. University of Wisconsin student, working part-time as a journalist at Madison newspaper. Won an award from the ABC for one of the best feature stories of the year on bowling. And he had told us that he had to have a hand operation.
Sometime this summer, yeah.
Boy, I said it earlier. Does he get mixed? And that one I thought was light, Dennis. I didn't think it would carry out everything on the left side.
Well, he had the head pin take out. It looked like the 7 and the 8 pin. They were up momentarily, but he does get good action. He's got a big pocket. Fortunately, leaves at 7-10 at times in the pocket.
Fellows over here visiting us this morning, they've made the championship final of the bowling game show on Channel 18. They get $1,000 if they win it for their team. Here's Jeff Richgels' last strike, and
watch the 7 and 8 pin, Hank. They're both up just momentarily, but
there they go.
a lot of spin and a lot of action off of that head pin. He doesn't like it.
And
See
there's why. This fellow alongside me said, well, they win $200 each for the 5 of them if they win it. And he said, that's not what he cares about. He wants to get that trophy. Guys like Don Ciardo love guys like him, right?
Absolutely. And a chance for a turnaround, Hank, right here. Could tip it 20 pins with this ball.
Well, Ben looking for a double, and he struck out the last 6 frames in game number 1 and hasn't had anything like that since. Only 1 strike in game 2, but here he is back, but no 10. Boy, he wanted
Close.
that. Just the same. I was going to say he does pick up some, but he doesn't pick up all that much because Jeff had the double.
So he picks up count, so a spare would give him 15 pins back, and trailing by 17. Had he carried, it would have been a 7-pin match. And bear in mind he had trouble on the left side here sticking, but he's okay.
Now he's got some back.
Yep, he's got 5 of them back, I should say, not 15.
Yeah.
Jeff had the double. And then an open and 3 marks for Ben, so 5 back, 27 down. A lot of time.
Oh, there's Richgels back in the pocket. Well, my plan for the weekend, which you viewers can do on this, it's 15th and 16th of June. On the 15th of June, Saturday morning or afternoon, you go on out to North Hills Golf Course for the Lombardi Golf Classic, helping a great cause, the Lombardi colon cancer.
Right?
Right. That's at North Hills, and a lot of Packers and other celebrities. Don't come near me, though, unless you want to ruin your golf game. Oh, did Benny Bennett bury that one?
Yep.
And then Saturday night, June 15th, after you get in from North Hills, maybe after dinner, you come on over here to Red Carpet Regency, and we've got the men's championship final. And on Sunday, I got plans for you too, but I'll tell you what those are after I tell you that this is the 5th frame of game number 3, which means it's Miller time. The Miller frame, made the American way. Bowlers getting strikes in the 5th frame of the 3rd game. Each and every show on Bowling with the Champs receive a special prize from Miller. And today it's called a stadium kit. Is it a kit? A pack. Okay, a stadium pack. Looks to me like you don't have to take it to the stadium, though. You put up that umbrella in front of somebody in the stadium, they're going to get upset with you.
I would think so. And
but you got a blanket and a cooler and a carry-all. There it is. And what else comes in there? The thermos jug to carry coffee. Nobody put anything other than coffee in the thermos jug.
George won't.
But Benny didn't win it.
No, and he's got a tough one looking at him.
He's got the dinner bucket instead of the picnic outfit.
And we'll be at the stadium June 9th with all kids from bowling.
Ouch.
Kids bowling for kids and a cherry chop. He didn't need that. If Jeff pops one in here, whoo, Ben's in real trouble.
Yeah.
He's in trouble the way it is, but this could just magnify it.
5th frame, he's still got a chance to win that Miller Award. And not to downgrade the importance of that, but probably more importantly, another double and a big lead in the match. There they go.
And he put it right there. He does get strikes. He gets his opens, but woo. 2 doubles in the first game, 5-bagger and a double in the second game, 2 doubles in the third game, and 5 frames to go, leading this one by 14, so about 46 pins for the match.
I'll tell you what. He's there again, but no 7. He has not had a strike isolated in the match. Game number 1, 4 strikes, a pair of doubles. Game number 2, he had a 5-bagger and then a double. And in game number 3, 2 doubles.
That adds him up pretty well.
And here's Ben fighting for his life here, and that's a start. You got to start some way.
That's right. He's got room. He trails by 40, but there's 5 frames left.
Oh,
well, he turned it pretty good.
that's why I say when a guy throws that big hook and he throws them on spares too, you watch. But it came, and he got it. Anyway, on Sunday, what I wanted to give a plug to was Variety Club's Rock and Blues concert. 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock Sunday afternoon, June 16th at the parking lot of the Midway Motor Lodge on Northport Washington Road. George Busatteri's Spider George and the Web, 9-piece group of outstanding Milwaukee area musicians, including Jim Lai Band. So drop on by. I'll be there, and Dennis will be there. We'll say hello, and we'll help out the kids for Variety.
George will be there, serving up bratwurst.
And here's Ben.
No, that's been his downfall, but it's been that in-between hit that hasn't carried.
He thought he maybe had it. He started to run that one out. And he needed it because, boy, you got to get doubles if you're trailing, and he has not been able to do that. He has had 3 strikes this game, but he's gone strike, spare, strike, open, strike. Now, hopefully for him, spare.
Not the Ben Hoefs we saw in the first 3 matches, but
or in
it can
the
happen.
First game, or in the last
first game,
half
he
of
looked
the first
pretty
game
good.
Of this one, yeah. And Jeff Richgels
closed the door completely right here.
Well, I said he's never had an isolated strike, so if that keeps up, he's getting one here because he has one up. There's the double.
The double and the match, and he goes, we're going to have a couple Jeffs in the finals.
2 Jeffs in the finals, and I am taking out now Dennis Wright's pre-match prediction, and he was incorrect this morning. He picked Ben Hoefs, and so what's your record heading into the 2 championship finals?
About 23-10 or something in that area. These sheets are getting so big.
It has to be more than that. This is our
24-12.
That's better. It's 36th show of the year. Oh, now Ben gets one. That's you. There's Elmer Regner looking on camera.
Oh, Elmer got back. He was watching the taping of the bowling game. Him and Lee Rothman, you know, same jokes. You know, Elmer, what did we say? He's 82 years old.
Well, yeah, but Lee's only 81, so
Lee's only 81.
He has more recent jokes.
Both of them said if they knew they were going to live that long, they'd have taken better care of themselves, right? I think Elmer's taking better care of himself than Lee.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Benny had a great year in this show, but ran out of gas here in the semifinals and the Final 4, and it'll be Jeff Richgels and Jeff Henry for the title.
Yeah, he knows it's a little late. 218 is his best.
Our 2 championship finalists, both in their 20s, which tells you something maybe about the sport.
And contrasting styles for the finals.
Yes, sir.
But most people that bowl Jeff Richgels would be in contrast, I think, as far as the delivery and the boards he covers. And another strike.
Yeah. He just getting better. 194, 234, and he can top that here, can he?
And that 6th frame of the first game upset him, but he had enough composure to hold together. He could have folded there. He came back with a double, Hank, and I think that may have turned it around.
Well, he got all his frustrations out when he threw that non-spare attempt at the 7-10 split and just wheeled it, I guess is what I was trying to say, down the middle, fireballed it down the middle.
Windmilled it, I think.
Yeah. Benny Hoefs with his spare. And Benny with a strike with his last ball in the 10th would have 197. Well below his average, not as bad as last game, but not enough to come back against this young man who's just making him look easy out there now.
Closing with 234 and 244. That's championship material. And he's going to 670 something with a slow start.
Well, he's looking for us, I guess after his hand operation, a sponsor to maybe send him out on the Pro Tour. So if you like what you saw today, give Jeff a call. He could use some backing. $5.93 for Benny Hoefs. And Jeff Richgels, we're still adding up his score. We'll be back with it, tell you how much money they've won, and give it to the bowlers and talk with them right after you watch this. Ben Hoefs this morning on Bowling with the Champs. And we have Mike Rogie, the manager here at Red Carpet Regency Lanes, with some money. Mike?
Well, Ben, Final Four status again. Congratulations on a good tournament. Here's $50 for your first game win. Jeff, congratulations again. Super Bowling, $150 for 2 games in series. Best of luck in a championship. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And Ben, we have another check for $1,700 for making the Final Four. And as Mike said, you've been here before. Can't get over that big stumbling block into the final.
Well, the second game really hurt me. I started overturning the ball a little bit, and I just couldn't get out of the habit. So that was the difference in the match. Jeff really bowled well today.
You had a problem where you were sticking or something. Well, what was that problem in the first game?
I must have picked something up on my heel about the third frame of the first game, and I stuck on both alleys, and Jeff wasn't sticking at all. And then in between the first and second games, they cleaned the approaches off a little bit, and then I didn't have any problems, but Jeff almost killed himself in that one shot.
Ben, we only got about a minute left here, and you may want to say something to the audience or about your year on this show.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and giving me a great support, and hopefully next year I can make it again.
Okay, Ben, congratulations. You and Bob in qualifying?
Yeah, we both made the first cut, so hopefully we can make the show again. I like to wish both Jeffs, lots of luck in the final match.
Thanks, Ben.
Okay, Ben. And Jeff, we don't have any money for you yet, but you got a shot at $5,000. Did you feel you'd do this well this year on the show?
I don't know. Last year I sure had a problem bowling here. I mean, I couldn't even get 600 on the show in 3 matches, but this year they did not sanction the show, and it seemed like it opened up a little more area to the right, and I could swing the ball, and that's natural for my game, and I just bowled good this year, and I think I'm a better bowler, too.
Quickly, because we're running out of time. What happened when you did that sprawl there?
Well, like Ben said, he was having trouble sticking. I asked him if he wanted to clean the approaches, and he didn't at the middle of the first game, but then at the end they did, and between games, and then I just slipped.
Okay, our congratulations. We'll see you back for the championship final.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff Richgels, our winner here today. That's our show. Bowling with the Champs has been brought to you in part by Foster Pontiac, South 27th and Loomis. Foster challenges anyone to beat their prices, anyone. So Foster